Trouble on the racetrack as we're getting ready to talk about Burton's issues with the car of tomorrow, and we have an issue here with the 45 car of Kyle Petty.
The 11 just freaking ran all over you.
We see a little bit of damage right now in the right front fender of the 11. Now he's really got that thing in the wall. Going to have to work on it hard.
Here's another chaser with some problems. This car's been struggling a little bit. He was great the first part of the race. He was leading the most laps. Him and Matt Kenseth were going toe-to-toe. Then seemed like they're about after the second pit stop, they just struggled a lot.
Yeah, they have been struggling a little bit. Mike Ford's trying to calm them down right now as crew chief. Say, don't get too aggressive, but
they got some damage on the right side.
And the left side.
There's the damage to the Dodge of Kyle Petty, the former winner here.
Definitely looks like Kyle Petty got the worst of this.
There's the contact.
Looks like oh, man. Looks like he just got right into the back of Kyle Petty.
Just got real aggressive behind Kyle Petty. Got right up on his back of his car, lifted him up, got him loose. And just pretty doggone aggressive. Let's watch the onboard from Clint Boyer's car. Yeah, he just hits Kyle coming off the corner.
Looks like, come on. Looks like Clint got some damage there too, maybe.
And you know, guys, it just looks like, I know there's a lot of tension there.
It has been a crazy, crazy day here at the Dover, Delaware Speedway. We're about 10 feet from Kyle Petty's wrecked race car, which is being worked on right now by his crew. Kyle, you've been sitting here for a while thinking about it. You did have a chance to go over and talk with Denny. What do you believe happened on the racetrack, and what were you trying to communicate to him? What do you believe happened on the racetrack, and what were you trying to say to Denny?
Well, like I'll tell you, just like I told everybody, I guess it's my fault because I watched the Busch race and they said he was sick. So I guess whatever medicine he's taking makes him hallucinate because he needs 3 lanes to get around somebody on the racetrack because he just ran all over me. He was running 5th or 6th or wherever he was running. I'd let the leader by. I'd let the 2nd place guy by, the 3rd place guy. Thought I gave him plenty of room. The next thing I know, he's got me jacked up and turned around. So if that can be construed as my fault, I guess it's my fault.
You were very frustrated because you have a wrecked race car?
Oh, well, I'm frustrated because we're racing for points. I know those guys are in a chase, but we're racing hard for the top 35, myself and Schrader, and I feel bad for the 22 team, the Caterpillar team of Blaney. They didn't even make the race this week. So when you look at it, there's a group of us that are racing for the other end, and I hate it, but there's 43 cars out here. And just like I said, if maybe he's a great race car driver. He drives really well. He's got tons of talent. Won more races than I have, I'll be honest with that. But at the same time, you know, if he can't drive but 500 miles and stay focused, maybe he needs to give up the Busch job on Saturday and focus on the Cup stuff because obviously he's lost his focus today.
And Kyle, your famous father came over and had a couple of words with you. What did he have to say?
Nothing. He just patted me on the back. One of those deals, man. Hey, this is part of racing, you know what I mean? That's just the way it is.
Kyle Petty here in the garage area now. The crew is working on it. Looks like they may attempt to get this thing back on the track, but it's already been a very long day for the 45 bunch stock.
Kyle Petty referring to the owner's points, and the top 35 is critical. That's where you want to be. His team was 34th coming in. There you see the Richard Petty team. That's the owner listed as Richard Petty. And you want to be in the top 35. Glenn Wood, the owner of the 21 car that Kenny Schrader was driving. Bill Davis's car, Dave Blaney, as you heard Kyle mention, did not make the show today. The 10 car. You know, back there, they're trying to get that car up in the top 35. It's critical to be there because if you're in the top 35 as you're entering 2008, you're guaranteed to make the first 5 races, including the season opening Daytona 500.
Well, as far as going in the top 35 in points, Kyle's going to be okay there. He won't fall out of that because of what happened today. Blaney missing this race and not being a threat to close it up. So he's okay, just not okay because of the wreck.
Schrader's having a tough day too, so he won't get too far out on him.
On lap 203, crashes into the concrete wall, and he's coming at you right there. Denny Hamlin may have caused this inadvertently by clipping Petty. Hamlin, all kinds of issues, loses a piece of his rotor during the incident.
Yeah, it was definitely Denny's fault. He was just too impatient there. There is a broken rotor. He's going to have to go in the garage and definitely fix that.
Hamlin then heads to the garage, and there's Petty exchanging some heated words. Petty clearly frustrated. I'm sure 2 of those words were not happy birthday. And then Hamlin gets out, and he has to be restrained, getting ugly in the garage. Midway through the race, Denny Hamlin got entangled with Kyle Petty. Petty took exception. The 2 drivers got into some extracurricular activity in the garage, and Hamlin, who now sits last among chasers, will probably not be exchanging Christmas cards.
Kyle gets run over a lot, and a lot of the reason is he's so far off the pace, you know, and I firmly believe in my heart that he was trying to get out of the way. But you know, I was right there on his bumper on the inside of him, and I think he was trying to pull low. And when he did, he checked up to pull low. Well, I mean, you can't do that when someone's right on you, and I think that's the reason that stuff happens. I mean, you got a car 2 seconds off the pace.
I guess it's my fault because I watched the Busch race and they said he was sick. So I guess whatever medicine he's taking makes him hallucinate because he needs 3 lanes to get around somebody on the racetrack because he just ran all over me. He was running 5th or 6th or wherever he was running. I'd let the leader by, I'd let the 2nd place guy by, the 3rd place guy. Thought I gave him plenty of room. The next thing I know, he's got me jacked up and turned around.
I think a lot of it is his frustration over this whole top 35 thing, but I mean, we're racing for bigger and better things. So, you know, hopefully, you know, one day if they get it turned around, I can exchange the favor. But right now, we're the guys racing for the championship.
Here in the pit box with Boris Said, clearly a difference of opinion. Break the tie. Who was at fault?
Denny Hamlin, you were dead wrong on this one. I mean, it's always the overtaking driver's responsibility to make a clean pass. And if you knew Kyle Petty was 2 seconds lap slow, wait 1 little extra corner and you're going to go right by him. I mean, that was really a big mistake on your part. And it's a mistake Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon, people like that are running for a championship don't make. So hopefully you'll learn from that. And as far as Kyle Petty not being important where he finishes, it is. He's going for that 35th position in team owners points, and that's worth a lot nowadays.
So did Kyle Petty overreact?
Oh, I think, you know, in the heat of the moment, both drivers say things they'll probably regret later. Denny Hamlin sure said a few things he's going to regret. And I think Kyle Petty, once he calms down, will regret it. But still, he's the one that got wrecked. No fault of his, and he should be mad.
All right, so you had a chase driver wrecking a non-chase driver. Let's flip that around. How does this become a different scenario if a non-chase driver, of which you were one last week up at Loudon, wrecked a chase driver?
Well, for instance, if I wrecked Tony Stewart last week at New Hampshire, I'd probably be hung out to dry. I mean, it would be utterly stupid of me to do something like that. And I think all the guys that aren't in the chase are giving those guys a little extra room on the racetrack, just like Kyle Petty. He was trying to get out of the way and let those guys by. Denny Hamlin was being just a little too aggressive to try to get back to the front. Earlier in the race, when he was trying to lead laps, you even heard his crew chief come over the radio in the broadcast of ESPN and say, hey, man, just calm down a little bit, calm down, look at the big picture. And that's something he didn't do a very good job at.